Okay, so this is going to be a quick video that shows you how to copy over an old course into your new 2013-14 area in a more broken down fashion. So if you're connecting, say, from a school or from a spot where connectivity might be an issue, you might want to take this route because it does sort of guarantee that things copy over a little bit more cleanly than if you copy the full course all at once. So two things. Again, you're going to need to know what your old course is and what your new course is. So in this case, if I come down to my courses widget, so this area here, Maplewood's going to automatically generate the new course shells for the 2013-14 school year. So if I have an old course and want to use those components again, I can just copy my old components over. So this LE 10.2 is going to be the example of the old course, so my last year's course that I'm using. And this test copy course is going to be the new course where I would like to put my information. So if I go into test copy and I need to go under edit course, so again this is my new course, so my new one that I want to copy components into. I go to import, export, copy components, and what I can do is search for an offering. Now what this does is it pulls up all of the courses that you're currently enrolled in. So these might be demo courses or things that I have, but basically they're any courses that the user is currently enrolled in. So I know that this is the course, the Blended Learning Teacher Orientation, that I wanted to copy. So I'm going to select that. So that's my old course. And then I've got choices here. So if I'm connecting from an area where my internet's spotty, goes in and out, or I just don't know that it's going to cleanly go through, I would, instead of copying all components, I would select components and I would break my course down into pieces. So basically you can tick off the entire thing to start. So this check mark, select all components. But you notice here the course files 3208. This is, depending on how big your course files are, depends how cleanly the copy process will go if you try to pull a whole course at once. So if you want it to work well, a good thing to do is to break up your course files. So I'm going to continue. And what this will do is it takes me into the background of my course files. So what I want to do is select everything, everything sort of extra and laying around, plus everything in my units 0 and unit 1, just on this first copy. And then I go to continue. So probably on a piece of paper I mark down that 2, 3, 4, and 5, those units, I haven't copied those files, so that will have to be in another copy attempt. So then what you do is press continue, and this will essentially say, do you want to confirm these? You can see you're only copying part of the course files, but you will have to copy the rest of those over to get your full course. So yes, that's what I want to do for now because I think my internet may stall partway through the copy process. It's just a safer way to do it. So you'll notice that a lot of these things come up really quick. The quizzes, discussions, news, those things, they all copy over really quickly. But again, the slower part is the course files, and that's why if I was copying from a place where the internet isn't super high speed, or there was a lot of users at the time, that I might hold off and split this part. So I'm just going to pause the video now. This will take a few minutes for this to go, and then I'll open it back up. Okay, so a few minutes have passed and I can see all these nice little check marks, means that everything's copied over really well. The 911 of 911 course files came through. So basically I click done. But now I know I didn't copy all of that course because I didn't get all of those course files. So I'm going to need to come in again to pick that same course, to add it. And again, I want to just select components because all I need now, I don't need all of these things at all. On this next copy, all I need is course files. So it's really important you don't reselect all of these other pieces again, because it will double create your discussions. It will double create, any grade settings, any content displays that you have. So all you need on this second copy is to select the individual course files. Now we know that we got everything except this 2, 3, 4, 5. So I might want to run, just to be safe, only pull in my 2 and 3 files on this second copy. And that'll take a second. So I could see this time that's going to pull 1555 course files. So again, this might take a little bit of time depending on where you are. That's why it's kind of nice to break up the process. So again, I'm just going to pause it here and let this run, and then I'll start the recording again. Okay, so probably about 2 minutes passed the entire time for that to copy. And you can see I've got a nice little green check mark. If I had an X, that means some of the files didn't work. But you can see I've got 1555 of 1555, so that's good. So I'm going to say done. Again, the issue is we still have units 4 and 5 of the course files that we need to get in there. So we're going to go back into that same course. We're going to select our components. And we know we don't need all the other junk because we've already got it once. So we're just going to select individual course files. And the last ones I need to pull in are this 4 and 5. And I'm going to continue. And 742 of 3000. So I'd estimate this would probably be the fastest copy. But it probably will still take a minute or two, so I'm just going to pause here and start the recording back when it's done. Okay, so that was a quick one, probably about 45 seconds or so. But again, you can see your green arrow, your files, all of that stuff. So what this means basically is that your whole course is now in there. You just split up the files so that you didn't get timeout errors. But if you come in, you can check all your units again. So I know I've got my units here. I know my course had 5 different units. I probably want to check that last unit and just make sure everything looks good there. Yes, it had 3 activities. Maybe I just want to see that those files came through, and they did. So that last upload, what you were doing is pulling the files. So that's what makes these pages show up. The other thing I might want to check is my discussion area. Were my discussions created? Yes, they were. That's a good thing. Were my drop boxes created? Yes, they were. If you last year were associating grade box items with drop boxes and those sorts of things, you might just want to check your grade area, or you might want to check your drop boxes to see if they still have like the associated rulers and that kind of thing. But essentially now your course is good to go. The only thing you need to do is request that it be activated for the new school year.